the wild heart rising, okay, the fake love dissipating. Venus in Aries is about that real life, okay? Venus in Aries wants to be valued and feels truly worthy. I've met a woman actually with a Venus in Aries, and the thing is, like, her confidence was even irrational in herself in a way where she didn't even fully see it. I won't even say she was fully conscious within herself, but she really attracted that same thing, which you're able to kind of see externally. And so when I look at this right now, we have Venus in Aries, Chiron in Aries. There is a magical portal happening. And it's not as simple as, oh yeah, I'm here to heal. This is a sacred fire. This is a sacred rite of no longer needing approval from somebody outside of self, really catering to that internal garden. So I do remind y'all before I go forward any further, June 7th is going to be an early bird for the elemental activation. I think you should see it pinned in the chat. The first 3 to enroll, you will get readings with me. And so understand right now that this sacred wounded healer, come in. Understand right now that this sacred wounded healer is going to be a soul retrieval, okay? And the thing is, I'm doing a live, but just do what you gotta do. And the thing is, right now, I feel like Venus and Chiron, Venus and Aries, they're meeting in this, like, this sacred ceremony, right? Like, we're in the process of really retrieving our souls, stepping in, embracing, okay, my identity, meaning the music that I listen to, the foods that I eat, right? Like, how can I take a brand new start? How can I look at, where I used to like eating this, like, but then my father criticized me about it. He was like, yo, that's not how a real man eats beef jerky. You know what I mean? Like, and so you either begin to love it or you hate it, because Venus and Aries rules the second house. And that includes food, right? Food that we grew up with, this, and the energies that we link our identity to, how we feel like, man, I actually enjoy this, but I'm not able to enjoy this. This is one thing that I see happening, and this happens in love too, right? Aries is a very relational energy, and it's like, how can you be yourself in a romance and not lie to yourself, not depend on the other person where they become your source of courage, they become your only source of inspiration, and you can't muster that power up to start or initiate something on your own. And the healing part behind it is it can pull, it can tug, okay, on the partner. It could pull, it can tug on yourself, and you can have this internal conflict, which I feel like a lot of people are going to go through. Like, who is the truth of who I am, right? Like, who am I truly? Can I truly be myself and still be with another person? This becomes very tough because it's like there's this curated sense of approval. There's this curated sense of success that we require and we want to divine from another. This sense of curated survival mode, right? Aries is this base level energy of, this is what it meant for my parents, for my founding fathers, for founding mothers to feel like they are surviving. Aries is a very militant, on the front lines. I need to do what I need to do today to make it to the next minute. It's not even really even worried about tomorrow. It's not worried about next week. It's always present in the now. And that's the beautiful thing about fire signs. So, it's something where we're looking at it right now, like, there's a moment that we're going through with Venus conjunct Chiron. And then the fact that Leo was in the picture, where the moon in Leo, as well as Mars in Leo, our action, our drive, our fears that we're not fully aware of, how they're creating actions in our day-to-day life, how they're creating actions that are not aligned with the heart, because we're afraid to show our heart, right? We're afraid to wear our heart on our sleeves. We're afraid of being judged. We're afraid of, achieving a successful story, a successful narrative based off of how I define success, separate from the family. Because understand, Leo is the sign and its energy that moves separate from the family. And so there's a version of yourself that a lot of us are going to face, and we're in a process of healing right now. We're in a process of being triggered, okay, especially by people outside of ourselves, people in the workspace, because we're considering the 7th house of Libra, and also considering people you're in business with, your lovers, your friendships, especially if you're married, right? 7th house is this married energy. And so it's like, understand that right now, a lot of people are recognizing they're not who they've been performing to be. And I've been seeing this happen a lot lately where, we're not really speaking from the fire within our heart anymore. We're speaking with an intention, with an ulterior motive. We're looking for something, even if we're not fully admitting that to ourselves or the people that we're across from. And I feel like this Venus conjunct, right? Venus, she wants to give us our pleasure. She wants to give us our joys. And the thing is, the joy of an Aries is not always so simple based off of how the world we live in does not accept one being them true selves, one being raw, one being angry, one being frustrated when something doesn't go right, or being frustrated when another person's anger is projected onto you, and us not as a collective knowing how to really embrace Aries. However, understand that Neptune and Aries just shifted. Okay, Saturn and Aries, we're going to learn. We're going to learn in this next year and a half. We're going to learn in the next 2.5 years the troubles, the isolation that Aries faces. As a collective, interpersonally, the people that you engage with, we will, during Saturn and Aries, learn, okay, how to walk in isolation, not because we're trying to be a rebel, but because it takes that moment alone to take your own path, to walk somewhere where it's not really a path laid out for you. It's not, the snakes in the grass have not been filtered through, right? And when I say snakes in the grass, this actually comes and links back to our own Kundalini energy. Like, it is in the process of unraveling, but do we feel safe for that to happen? Because there's this judgment that a lot of us are anticipating even. We're waiting to be judged before the moment even comes. And so, this is a tough time where we're in a process of soul retrieval. We're in a process of re-engaging with our identity, trying to embrace the truth of not just who we are, okay? Not just who we're told to be, but in order to become seen, but not because we're performing, okay? Not because of fake love, not because we're doing something that we think will gain attention, but more so because it just makes us happy. It's like allowing yourself to be bored so that you can actually discover what is truly unique to yourself. Like, boredom is a very powerful trait of Aries. Okay, so it's like when a baby gets really excited, a lot of times it's just off in the distance of I'm bored. And then when it gets excited, it's like boom, and it hits you like a burst of energy. So the thing is, if you're bored right now, if you're feeling like you're tired, if you're feeling like you're being starved, creatively speaking, it's not because you're lacking talent. Thank you for hitting those thumbs up. It's not because you're lacking talent, okay? It's not because you're lacking talent. It's more because you've forgotten that there's an innocence within you that needs attention. Okay, there's an innocence in you that you have forgotten. And when you forget the innocence of being a baby, just being lit up because something very simple happened, and allowing yourself to express that lit up excitement, enthusiasm, passion, novelty of the moment. I think collectively what I've been noticing is like there are a lot of people coming into the truth, the witnessing of these ulterior motives. And on top of that, there's a lot of us that have been wounded, Chiron and Aries, that have been wounded by somebody else's ulterior motive, somebody else's intention to get you to buy their product, somebody else's intention to get you to serve them in a way that really doesn't energetically serve you on the other side, right? Like somebody has gotten you to commit, whether energetically, financially, physically, considering Aries also, represented as well as Mars and Leo. Mars and Leo is like sex that we have with other people, okay? Pleasure that we receive from someone adoring us and admiring us. And it's like, okay, you may have gotten that, but did you know consciously what you were signing up for on the other side? And there's this wound that's happening where people are going to be very angry. People are going to be very enraged. They're going to be very frustrated during these times. And you have to be willing to endure the storm, because these are two fire signs happening on the trine. It's not necessarily going to be soft. When you come into understanding that, now you're having difficulty with betrayal and trust. Like, can I trust this person? Like, you might feel like you want to involve yourself in a mentorship, a product, a service, something on somebody's website, but you don't really trust whether you can do that anymore because you've did it before, and like somebody they preyed on your innocence, they preyed on your need in the moment. They, like Aries, assign that needs, okay, like a baby, it needs nurture, it needs attention from a parent. And somebody you looked up to as a role model, a parent, has wounded you. Whether that was a coach or a mentor, they wounded you. You felt lied to. You felt like, man, I thought I was going to buy this and it's going to bring me somewhere, and now I don't trust nobody, to deliver on their promise. And this is going to be happening while Chiron is in Aries, and we're going to be very angry. And people that represent the model of that, the image of that, even if they didn't necessarily do something to you directly, they just feel they have the energy. Somehow you're projecting that energy on that person of the one who has wounded you. So you're going to have a lot of miscommunications during this time. All right. And so right now we have to understand that when did we last create just from a place of joy? We weren't really trying to gain status, be liked, create a sale, to be chosen by somebody. We're not in that stage right now. Right now, with this healing energy of Venus and Aries, it's about your pleasure, your personal pleasure. And she's saying, yo, when the last time you created something just because it brought you excitement? Just because it came from your spirit. Like your soul was excited about it and it just did it. It didn't think. It wasn't trying to be intentional. It wasn't trying to merge. It wasn't trying to become more powerful. It was just trying to be, right? Like it just existed. And you're going to cross people who are living like that, and they're going to irritate the hell out of you. And there's nothing wrong with that person. That person's not doing nothing wrong by being innocently positive and enthusiastic about whatever brings them excitement and joy in their life. So we have to be willing to set the boundary and be very clear. This is going to be part of the wounds that's going to be very uncomfortable for some. It's like, to your partners, to your lovers, to the people you're dating, to the people you're romancing, to the people in your workspace, you're going to have to really address that. So be careful of being enchanted by the moment itself. Preachers who have come before you and sounded even like a poet, they're preaching something, and you bought into it in a way where, like, it broke your trust. You feel like, I can't trust nobody. I feel like I've been deceived before. Right now, collectively, a lot of people are going to be burning out these fire energies from being so performative. You're going to see people, on the screen, they may still look like they're happy, they're excited, they're experiencing joy, they look like they live a good life, they look like they're making money doing what they're doing. But don't buy that. You got to be careful. Fire sign can see through the dark, all right? And so a lot of us are going to be seeing through that. And when you do, it's important to make sure that you don't punish yourself by ignoring a group that does accept you, a set of people who does appreciate your variety that you bring into the world, all right? A community that does want to embrace you because you were wounded before. A lot of time with fire sign, it's a masculine energy. You'll understand it and you look at it like this. Like, fire is masculine. Masculine needs purpose. They need to do something because it matters. They need to do something because they feel like it's truly making an impact. They need to do something because they feel focused on a direction, and that direction is inspiring them. It's their motor. It's bringing them forward. It's making them feel not just safe, because they may not fully feel safe in doing it, but what they do feel safe is in themselves. They feel safe that, you know what? I understand that this is my direction, and that within itself creates the safety for me to continue to move forward in this direction. That's masculine energy, right? It doesn't need the same type of safety as feminine energy, though it does need to feel safe to some extent. And what I'm telling you is your safety net right now is your purpose. It's the impact you're making, okay? Shake that damn demon out of you. There's a lot of people that's going to be going through demonic energy right now. And this demonic energy looks like the attachment to a wound, the attachment to the past, the attachment to, an addiction, the attachment to being joyful, but joy that's not really yours. Like joy that was assigned to you, joy that you inherited. Like, right? Like you don't even like steak, but they like, yo, it's Friday night, let's go out for steak and beers, and you're just excited about it. But it's not even your joy, it's your father's joy. So understand that the people who have role model for us Leo represents father energy. Aries is the one who, wants the approval from the father a lot of times. So we gotta be willing to shake those demons out. Understand that right now, like if you buried your original medicine, if you buried it under a persona that you felt you needed to sell to people, this mask, because it might get you more well liked, or you are the one who bought that mask for another person, don't punish yourself by saying, well, if this creator is like this, all creators are like this. Because fire signs sees through that nonsense. So you got to be very, very careful, be very discerning, and be very honest with yourself when you realize, yo, you know what, I made a mistake. I made a mistake. Like, I judged this person for who I thought they were, but they just weren't that person. Hit the thumbs up and the likes button. What a timing to be here. I needed to hear this as the Sagittarius rising. What up, gang? So many reality checks. Yeah, a lot of fire brings the reality, but not in the same way as earth. Fire doesn't bring it in the way as earth does. So be mindful of that. However, Venus in Taurus will happen very soon after this transit, which will bring the reality check in that way. But reality in the sense of fire is like, look, fire is a very emote-based sign. It's way more emotional than earth. Fire is very emotional, okay? Water is emotional, but it's very private with its emotions and what it's feeling. Fire is emotional where it's like, oh, I'm excited, baby. Yeah, let's go out tonight. Fire is emotional with like, yo, you mother, I'm going to you up. Don't come that way over there. Not. Oh my God, baby girl. I love what you're wearing. Like the way your earrings. Yeah, girl. Like, no, like that. Honestly, that's why you dripping, baby girl. You dripping, right? Fire sign emotes in this way. Hit the thumbs up and the likes button. So it's very expressive. It doesn't try to hide what it's feeling. It doesn't even really know how to hide what it's feeling. It just wants to be. So if you felt like you're somebody who has had to hide your true feelings, your true emotions, this is going to be something where this transit, okay, Venus conjunct Chiron, trining the moon in Leo, emotions, again, that we hide, emotions that we felt were irrational, afraid to take up too much space, afraid to be seen, afraid to be a big ass ball of light in any given room. As you hit the thumbs up and the likes button, I appreciate you. Don't be afraid to be this big ball of light in the room. Don't be afraid to demand attention. This is Leo moon. Don't be afraid that your emotions that you're feeling are too irrational because you were programmed that they were. So no matter who you were, whether you have fire in your chart or not, I'm saying this is a transit. So everybody's going to experience this right now during the transit. And I remind you again to shake those demons out of you. And I bring this little baby ritual to you right here. Give me a shake to clear the way. Send the lower vibes away. Journey in high-pitched sounds. Spirit, feel and move all around. Give me a shake to clear the way. Send the lower vibes away. Journey into high-pitched sound. Feel spirit move all around. Give me a shake to clear the way. Lower the lower vibes away. Journey into high-pitched sound. Feel spirit move all around. Give me a shake to clear the way. Send the lower vibes away. Journey into high-pitched sound. Feel spirit move all around. And I just felt the tears just kind of like come out of my eye as I said that. So like whether you're live or you catch this on replay, this is going to hit your spirit. I want you to replay that last 15 seconds, 20 seconds again. Rewind and play it again. Because I feel it in my eyes. I swear to God, like I'm like crying. I just had like a little cry. Understand that in Ayurveda, for example, I just talked about this in my membership with my members. So join our membership if you want a community, you want a base, you want some people to support. We talked about how you create toxins, bacteria, poison in the body, in the mind, and the spirit, but not through food, but through lifestyle choices and lifestyle modality behaviors. And so one of them is holding your urge. So when you have an urge to cry and you just stop to cry, or you pretend it's not there, or you want to sigh, but your mom's like, don't you sigh at me, boy. What's wrong with you? So you now think it's not okay to sigh. This is Chiron and Aries in that wound, happening from 0 to 2 years old. Yeah. Oh, don't you throw that face at me. But that was your natural urge, that face. When you try to hold that back, fire signs don't do well with that. That fire begins to poison you. Okay, that fire really hurts when you dim that flame, you dim that fire. Because your mom, your parent, your guardian was like, that's unacceptable. What the hell? Wow, okay. That is very interesting. My cord was literally inside my sack. I'm not even trying to be funny or nasty, but like it was like touching my cord. Hold on, here we said. My cord was trying to wrap around my sack, my manhood, Aries, Leo, my manhood, Aries literally being the genitalia, okay? Leo being the way we express that and feel safe in our fixed fire. Who has tried to choke your expression, your creativity, your manhood? Even if you're a woman, your masculine energy as a woman, your clarity, your focus, your conviction, your alignment with purpose, right? This is the stuff that's going to be breaking. We're going to be breaking through this, yo. Because right now, there's this thing where Venus, I'll have a Sabian symbol for you. At 25 degrees of Venus and Aries, 25 degrees when they conjunct Chiron and Aries. It is a double promise revealed. Okay, a double promise reveals its inner and its outer meaning. This symbol speaks to a split in identity. Aries, split. Identity, Aries, split. The horns of Aries split. It cuts through. And the Sabian symbol is a recognition of who are you on the inside versus who you perform to be on the outside. Who are you on the inside versus who do you perform to be on the outside? Your sacred promise was never to be light. It was to be alive, to be whole, to let your joy ignite others, which what Leo, Mars and Leo wants to do. Not just to influence them, to ignite them to the point where they influence themselves. I thank you for that thumbs up. I see you. I appreciate you. To lead not by dominance, okay, but by the original fire. And that's what this Sabian symbol at 25 degrees of Aries is about. And so when we really look, we shift into the fact that the moon is in Leo on the same day of this trining energy, this conjunction, this Venus-Mars conjunction. Mars trine Venus, and Mars trine Chiron, aka Mars being in Leo, it's saying something like this. Create without shame. So when I say shame, it's like, feeling bad, like, right? I do something like this, how we just did. Give me a shape to clear the way. Send the low where it vibes away. Journey into a high pitch sound. Feels like a song out of it. I'm live. It's like, am I doing that because it's a performance? Because I think you're going to like it? Because I think it's going to give me more thumbs up? Because I think it's going to make me... No. Because I look like a shaman, that I have a rattle? No. It's like, move back into your original sound, your original frequency, your original wave, your original creativity. What brings you joy brings you excitement, right? And it's saying like create without shame. So it's like, without shame is like me creating this little monologue, this little poem, this little rhythm, this sound, this high-pitched frequency with the rattle. It's like, at what point did my wound say, shut up, stop making that noise, right? You're playing an instrument, you're 2 years old, you're 3 years old, you're making this shaker, you're shaking your rocker, and your mom just had a bad day at work. Your dad just had a stressful week, all week. And you're a little kid and he's like, shut up, man, stop making noise. Or you get the parent that refuses to buy you a xylophone because they're afraid it makes too much noise. Or the drum. So they don't buy you that thing, or they tell you to shut up. I need you to be quiet, shut up. And they make you feel like you did a bad thing. That's the shame. So it's time to let everything be felt fully, without restraint. That's the stage we're in right now with this healing journey. To let that courage become the compass itself. To let that courage become the new beginning point, Aries, the trine to Aries, initiation. So it's not just about romantic love, but a lot of it will be about romantic love. Like, do you hide how you truly feel? Maybe because you feel bad that I feel like I'm in love with this girl. I feel like I truly want to give everything to this boy. But you're ashamed of that. You're afraid to express that, to share that, how you really feel. You feel like if I express how I really feel, then somehow it's evil, it's wrong. Understanding that right now, remembering that joy is your birthright. It is not your brand. And that's what a lot of people want, because there's so much performance-based initiations and networking and, I'm performing like this because I think it'll get me more attention. Understand that it's time to remember your joy, not wear your joy like a brand. If you're happy, you happy. If you ain't, then be cool. So with Chiron and Aries, you got to pull that arrow out of your heart. Okay? Pull it out of your heart and allow yourself to say, like, I don't need to become anything because I already am. I am Aries. Hit the thumbs up and likes button. I appreciate you. What do I need to become? I'm already who I am. What do I need to create for attention? I am a creator. I am consciously aware that, like, I'm more than worthy of being loved. I want you to say that in the chat. I'm more than worthy of being loved. Oh, what's up, Eternal Sunshine? What a time to be here. I needed to hear this. Oh, I saw that. Well, that explains Taurus Sun, Leo Moon over here. Yeah. You probably Leo Moon. Yeah, you're going through. Okay, you're going through because it happens on June 1st. So the thing is with this, like, burn the mask. Okay, when you burn the mask, you actually begin to bless the wound. So what's the wound you're facing with Chiron and Aries? Look at your Aries. What house is your Aries in? 8th house, 4th house, 6th house. Okay, and that will be the wound. Now you want to go one step further. That's your natal chart, Aries. Put in the time and the city that you're in at the time of the transit. So June 1st. I forget what time it was. I don't know. I think it was like 1 p.m. or so. But you got to just do that part on your own. And put the city. You're in Cincinnati. You're in Mexico City. You're in you're in Oakland, California. Wherever you are, put that in and to see where is the transit hitting. When Venus conjuncts Aries, see where it's hitting, so you can understand. Okay, this is the place where my wound is at, Chiron Aries. This is the place that I need to express myself more fully, where the moon is in Leo. Because right now, copying everybody else, in order to feel like this is what you need to do to survive, right? That ain't working for Leo. All these people copying each other's art forms. If you're an astrologer, other astrologers, listen to other astrologers, judging the next astrologer, and then, repeating the same jargon based off their criticism. All this stuff trying to be better than the next person. Let's say astrologer better than another astrologer. So they judge, they criticize, and they go, oh, I don't believe it like this. Like everybody's talking like this. And I talked to somebody earlier today, and like, look, like that can't really happen if I'm not even watching your content. Like I can't really judge you and say like you're doing something right or wrong. This moralistic, Gemini energy, Gemini Sagittarius energy of this is right or this is wrong, this black or this white, that doesn't really work. All right, for fire signs especially, fire is way too expressive. And when you're expressing the soul from the spirit, is multi-fashioned, it's multi-dimensional. There's no one right or wrong answer. It's the acceptance that all forms of expression, whether of art or emotion or emoting or whatever, okay, it's two-dimensional, it's super dimensional. So understand right now, like copying each other in order to survive, or thinking that you need to do what other people are doing. Oh, this person that I like, who is a role model, they have an Instagram, and I need to have Instagram, and I need to have TikTok, and I need to have YouTube. And I've been talking to people like this. A lot of people are feeling like right now, like I'm doing too much. I'm trying to do too many things. I had some people try to get me on TikTok. I've had people literally download it on my phone, and I'm like, yo, like I don't want it. I'm not getting on there. Like it's just too. I'm happy with YouTube. I'm happy with. And also blogging at the same time, or I need to make these video vlogs and show more of my real life. I need to show more about my love life, because that's what this other creator, this other influencer is doing. It's like so much external acceptance of what other people are doing that we're not realizing, like I myself at the individual level, if I align with what is true on the inside, I can embrace that. There's a double-edged sword by trying to do too much. So understand right now that the medicine that you're starving for with this particular transit is your own laughter, right? Like it's your own weirdness. It's your own eccentricities. It's embracing what's in your internal environment and saying, this is freaking cool. Like I am really cool. But without having to say that on the internet. Just looking in the mirror and looking yourself in the eyes and like, damn, like your spirit is cool. You badass. You badass in the kindest way, in the most compassionate way. It's like, man, you're so kind. You're so loving. You're so gentle. This is what's attractive to me. Thank you for hitting those thumbs up. This is what's attractive to me. This is the medicine that I've been starving for. Okay? All the brilliance that I have, like the fact that it's so unpolished, this is the diamond in the rough that I want to show. Or that I just want to be and accept that I already am. So it's just going to automatically show. I don't need to perform this. So this is the message I have for you today on this live. All right, hit the thumbs up and the likes button. I'll check in with you soon. I love you. I do have a first, second, and third place initiative. People who are looking, there's an early bird out right now for my 5-week Elemental Shaman class and course. It's going to work starting summer solstice, June 21st. But the early bird is over on June 7th. So if you want to check that out, you want to dive into the magics of water, earth, air, fire, ether. There's a curriculum. It's on my website. There's also some other free content on it you can get on. So let's tap in soon. I love you. See you soon. Thumbs up.